Hello. So, if you're like me, the past couple of years or a couple of years before that, you've seen a bunch of streamers play this really nostalgic and legendary RTS game called related to Yuri's Revenge. So you've seen that and you're wondering, how can I play this game in 2023? So this is a video tutorial, step by step, on how you're going to be able to play related to Yuri's Revenge campaign and online multiplayer in 2023. So let's get to it. Alright, first things first. Lovely. Alright, let's get to it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get the game itself. So the only legal way that you can get the game is via the EA app. So if we have a look here, the EA app is where the game can be found and can be purchased. So what you need to do is go to the first link in the description and you'll find this page right here. You want to click download the EA app. Download it to wherever you want and install it. Once you've installed it, you will get to this page. So once you've downloaded and installed the EA app, once you launch it, it will bring you to this page. You'll need to create an account. If you have an Origin account, you can just simply transfer that over, if I recall correctly. So once you've already logged in and everything, you go to the search bar and search for Command and Conquer, and it'll bring you to this second game right here. So you want to click the Ultimate Collection, and this will bring you into the Ultimate Collection where you can get a plethora of Command and Conquer games. But since I've already owned it, it'll save you in collection. But for you, if you haven't purchased it yet, you can purchase it for about, I believe, 20 bucks USD. I'm not too sure, but it is a small amount but a very good price, because if I click View and Collection, that Ultimate Command & Conquer package comes with all of the previous Command & Conquer installments, except for a couple, but these are the main ones that is provided. So obviously you want to look at related to Yuri's Revenge only. So what you want to do is you want to click the bottom right button here. Okay, remember this install location. You want to copy and paste that or write it down wherever you want. So once you're done, it only takes about 2 gigs. Click Next and click download, and once it's downloaded, you are closer to the next step of playing a multiplayer. But before that, while this is installing, you want to go to the second link in the description, which will take you to CnCNet. CnCNet is an online client that provides the multiplayer ability for Yuri's Revenge and a bunch of other games as well. You can see this Red Alert, there's Doom 2000, Tiberian Sun, Renegade, etc, etc. So what you want to do is you want to go down here, click download and play online, download it to wherever you want to, and then once it's downloaded, you can run the installer. So Windows might flag it, but it's okay, it is perfectly safe, I can guarantee you that. So run anyway, click yes, install it. And this is the important part here. So once you get to this page, Setup will install CnCNet Yuri's Revenge into the following folder. You need to select your install location that you remembered from earlier. So you go to Browse, select your installation. In this case, mine is local C, Program Files, EA Games, and then I want to select this instance related to. Ignore the other two ones, those are just my copies of the game. But Command & Conquer related to, click OK. Click install, and CnCNet will start installing to wherever you saved RE2 in. So once installation has gone through, CnCNet will automatically launch. Oh my god, that is loud. So CnCNet will automatically launch and it'll go through the initial installation. I'm so sorry about that. So what you want to do is you want to configure your settings before you play, which is highly recommended. So immediately what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn down the client volume. There you go, that's a lot better. So client volume, put it at 0. You want to go to display, and this is the most important part in whether you are playing online or offline in the campaign. So you want to set your in-game resolution to your monitor's resolution. So in my case, it's 2560 by 1440. That's a 2K resolution. The majority of players do play on 1920 by 1080. This is the recommended resolution that I would recommend to beginner players or players who are just starting out, because this will not cause any map bugs. Most of the maps are built around this resolution as well. So you can filter your client if you want to. I would rather not put it to recommended setting, detail level high, and this renderer is the most important part. Why? I have no clue, but it works, right? So the most common renderers that you want to go for is CNC Draw or TSD Draw. TSD Draw works best for most players. It works for me, so that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Windows borderless mode just because that's how I prefer it to be. So once everything has been ready, you can set your audio settings if you want. I've then set it to 355. The game, this is where you can set your online profile or wherever you want to. So in this case, I'm going to set mine into FCMJ. You can configure your hotkeys if you want to. If you're not sure on what hotkeys are, there is a video tutorial on the basic and advanced hotkeys on the in one of our videos. The card will probably be up about now on the top right hand side of your screen. So you can select your own hotkeys on what you want to do. You want to reset them, you can reset them as well. So once you're done, click save, go to CnCNet, and these are a bunch of options that you can have for the CnCNet as well. You can skip the login dialog, stay connected outside of the lobby. This is super important. Play assign when the game is hosted. There are tons of games being hosted every single time. If you don't want to hear an annoying sound whenever a game is hosted, unclick this. And then disable pop-up menus, pop-ups from private messages as well. I have this disabled because when I'm streaming, I don't want people to come and troll and send me a bunch of messages. So once I'm done with this, I click save, and then the client needs to be restarted. Just click yes, and it'll restart pretty quickly. And there you go. Now it's launched in the recommended client resolution, which is 1280 by 720. So if you're going to play online, you can immediately go click play online. It'll connect you to wherever it is to be, and you can pretty much go from there. If you want to play offline, you can go to Skirmish and play against an AI, a hard AI. There's a brutal AI option as well with a bunch of rules that you can set it at. We'll go through it one by one. So let's look at the online options first. So on the left side, you can see all of the hosted games. So there are 4 instances of hosted games. There are games that are open, bright, not darkened, and don't have a key beside it are open games that anyone can join. So if I just double click this, I'll instantly join the game, and then someone else is hosting the game. The host will always be along the top, so I'm not hosting it, so I'll be in the bottom. I can choose what faction I want, what color, what team, where do I start, and then I can see the game options or the game rules that the host has applied for me. And the left side here is of course my in-game lobby chat, so I can leave the game. So that's the open game. The games with the keys beside it are games with passwords, so you can create a game with a password in it. So for example here, I can create a password, and then anyone that wants to join my game will need a password. In terms of the games around the bottom here, which has grayed out, these are games that have been locked. So locked games are basically, so if I create a game here with a password, when you're hosting lobby, bottom left here, you will see a locked game. So when the game is locked, you will receive a notification saying you've locked the game room. If a game is locked, no one can enter the lobby at all. So if you want to play a 4v4 and you don't want if you want to play a 2v2, sorry, and you don't want any additional players coming in, you can easily lock the room and no one else will be able to join. Players can of course leave the lobby when you need to. So going back to the main menu, the middle is your lobby chat. On the right side here, you will see the player list. You can also see the player list if you pressed F4, and over here you can see all the players, recent players as well. So for example, I'm going to go to all players, go to my trusted little friend Matt, and here I can right click and add as a friend. Once you've added him as a friend, it will show up in your friends list here, and you can just type in hi, and then your friend will basically show up, and then you can chat in your DMs from here whenever you want to. So there's this ease of access, quality of life, etc, etc. So in a case where you do host a lobby, if you see on my right click options, there is the join option as well. So if let's say my friend is in a lobby, I can just right click and click join. If he is in a lobby, then I'll be able to join him. If it's not, the message will show me I'm not in the game. So another example is if I create a lobby and I go to my friends list and I click right click, there is an invite function as well. So my friend will receive the invites from me on the top left hand of his screen, and then he'll be able to click yes or no. That way he can accept the invites or decline the invites. If he does click accept invite, he will be able to join it almost immediately. Once they click yes, they can also decline it. If not, there you go, you see my friend saying hello. So I can right click and invite once again, see whether that happens. And there you go, FC Matt has joined FC MJ's game. So this is just an ease of life there that you can do just to invite someone to your game pretty quickly. So just to show you what it's like when someone invites me, there you go, you see top left of the screen there, join FC Matt's game. I can click no, I can click yes. If I click yes, I'll be immediately brought into his lobby where he's the host, and everything can happen from there. So on the bottom right of the screen, you're wondering here, what is this? The game host has selected a map that doesn't exist in your local installation. So there is an option for custom maps in CnCNet as well. That means that there are fan created maps, you know, maps that are created by the map makers in a community, 1v1s, 4v4s, whatever it shall be. If you've joined a hosted lobby and you don't have the map, this pop-up will show and you will not be able to click I'm ready, and the game will actually tell you need to select a different map or you need to download the map. So I can click download, and then it'll immediately show it'll immediately show the map, and now I'm able to click I'm ready, and then he'll be able to click start the game. So if let's say I do want to host a custom map lobby, so a lobby of a custom map, all you need to do is go to the standard page down in the game type. That way you can see all the standard maps. So if you can see here the standard map folder, I click it, it shows 0 hour, which I have downloaded previously. So if let's say you want to load in a new custom map, what should you do? So first thing first, you need to download that custom map itself. So for example, if I have a custom map, if I want to put in this custom map here, Baltic Sea, so from your downloads, you can just copy it, go to your installation, so that's on the maps, on the custom, and you want to paste it in. So once you've pasted in here, you'll need to either restart your CnCNet client or input a command that will actually load the map. So if I copy the map name here, copy the map name itself without the .map, I go back to my CnCNet client and I type in /load map space and then the name of the map itself, and then the game will say Baltic Sea loaded successfully, and then I can see the map in my standard game folder. So again, if you do not have the .map extension on your file, it will not work. And when you're copying it, be sure to copy it without the .map in there. So if I go .map, and it'll say it doesn't exist because the client automatically puts a .map behind whatever you pasted in. So there's something that I completely forgot to put in. So this is post MJ in editing. So bottom right here, there is the change tunnel button. This is pretty important because when you're playing multiplayer, you're going to be playing with players all over the world, from Asia, Europe, US, South America, etc. So it is best to pick a tunnel that gives good ping to everyone. So the closer you are geographical wise to the tunnel, the better ping you'll get, and that way you'll have less lag in the game. So for example, here I am by default given the CnCNet Singapore tunnel, so I get 3 ping to that. So if let's say I'm gonna be playing my friends from the EU, I'll be picking a tunnel in the EU. I get 154 ping to it, which is still not bad. Anything above 200 ping will probably cause a bit of lag. So you can see here the bar is also yellow, which is okay. If it goes down to red, that means you really have bad ping. So whenever you're hosting a lobby, be sure to pick an appropriate tunnel. FCEU is a top-notch tunnel. You can see there are 124 players using it at the moment, the best tunnel there is. Totally not biased, by the way. So remember, pick the tunnel that best serves you. You can see here Wormthrough is in EU, FCEU is in EU, there's the Japan, Australia, There's Canada East as well, and there's a couple as well. Wills Kelly as well as in California, so US Miami too. So be sure to pick the town that best suits the players in your lobby. So the other game modes in the CnCNet client as well, you can favorite your maps. If let's say I want to go here, if I want to favorite it, I'll just go to top right here, toggle favorite map, and then I'll be able to see the favorite map here. The favorite maps are limited to, I believe, 12. I think they are working to expand it further than 12, but currently if you have 12 favorite maps, and if you favorite anything more than 12, anything else would not be saved. So you have battle mode here. This is where all of the maps are available, from 2-player maps to 8-player maps. You have the YURI'S Revenge ladder, where you'll have maps in the YURI'S Revenge competitive ladder, the ranked match. You have RA2 ladder. You have Pro 2v2s. So these are for 2v2s in RA2 mode, free-for-alls, etc, etc. There's a bunch of game modes there that you will need and probably want to try out. So if you look at the top right, this is where all your game options are. So all your game rules will be here. If you're not sure on what it does, you can just hover over it and then it'll show you the exact explanation. So short game or turned on means that players win when all enemy buildings are destroyed. If I click it off, it means if I click it off, that means that the individual units will count as well, etc, etc, etc. So you can individually go by the game rules and see which one you want, which one you don't want, and you can customize your game to your own liking. So if you're playing, let's say, a team game, if I'm going for a 8-player map here, let's say I go for Winter Wind, and there you have in-game allying turned off. You can also ally in-game via the automatic extra player options here. So in the extra player options, you can force players to go to random sides. If I have forced random sides available, I cannot pick my side or my faction. So if it's turned off, I can easily pick America, Korea, Iraq, wherever the hell I want to be. But if, let's say, you want everyone to go random, you can force random sides here and nobody can pick where they are. So the same thing goes for random colors, teams, and starts as well. You can see here color, teams, and starts are unable to be picked, so you are forcing random. Another thing here is enable auto allying. So if you click the question mark here, you'll see what it means. So you can block a location from being assigned to a player, and you can also allow a player here but don't assign a team. So if, let's say, I enable auto allying, most of the maps have a custom auto allying preset readily available. So in this case, left versus right, I mean in spawn point number 1, which is below here, will be assigned to team A. Spot number 2 assigned to team A. Spot number 3 assigned to team A. Spot number 4 assigned to team A. And then everything else on the right side will be assigned to team B. So you do have a couple options here. If I go to Desert Island 8v8, you do have other options as well. So this is currently left versus right. You have top versus bottom. So this will be 1, 2, 6, 5 against 4, 3, 7, and 8. And there's a bunch of other options that you can go as well for different maps. So if, let's say, they don't have a preset, not to worry. You can set a custom preset if you want to. So if I don't want 1, 3, 5, and 7 to be spawned on, I can leave the X there. If I want spot 2 to be A, spot 4 to be B, spot 6 to be C, and spot 8 to be D. For a free-for-all, I can definitely do that. If I want everyone to be not to assign a team, I can just put the dash, and that won't assign a team to any of the players spawning in any of these spots. Also located on the top right of the screen here are the game speed options. So 60 FPS is the standard game speed that almost everyone plays on. If you play below 60 FPS, you're just a monster straight up. You need to get your psychic checked. So 60 FPS is the normal standard. The credits, you can go to 100,000, 30,000, all the way to 2,500. The standard is, of course, the default, which is 10,000. And of course, your starting units as well. You can start from 10 starting units to 1, or to the default 0, which 99% of players play with. So let's say you're really sick of playing those 4v4, 3v3 games and want something a little bit more challenging. Well, the perfect way to do that is via the quick match or the ranked match function. So in the third link here, it will bring you to the ladder page. So see ladder.cncnet.org. This is the ladder page where you can find the competitive ladder rankings for all of the games. So you have Red 2, you have YURI'S Revenge, and you have Blitz as well. If you're unfamiliar with Blitz, check out the fourth link in the description. That will bring you to our good friend Ivor or RA2 World Series' YouTube page and Twitch as well. It's a fun little game mode that you can play, and it's really noob friendly as well. So I highly recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. But for example's sake, I will go to Red 2 ladder. So here you will see all the ladder pages, so you can see the most recent games here as well. If you want to see the game into detail, you can just click any of those games and you will see the units, bots, all the stats here of everything that happened in the game. Basically, you can also click the individual player profile, and from there you can see their points, their wins, average frames per second, your games, losses, and how many games they played today, and you can see the entire record of their QM record for that month. Basically, if you're wondering how you can play on this ladder, all you need to go is you need to create an account on the ladder page. Obviously, once you create an account, go to manage accounts, click the ladder that you want to play. So for example, I want to go to RA2 ladder. All you need to do is add a username, and then once you have a username here, click create username, and then it'll show up here. For example, FCMJ is my current username. All I need to do is click play with this username, and then it will be activated. So for example, if I want to click play with this username for Forehead, now Forehead is active on the ladder, but you need to be sure, just double check, because for Red 2 and YURI'S Revenge, they are only allowed one nickname a month. Once you have already played a game under a nickname, you will not be able to change it unless you contact an admin, a QM admin, and they'll be able to change it for you. So once you have already registered your nickname on the ladder, you can go back to your QM client, click rank match, and it'll often show up with a login page here. Let me just log out. So if I go to rank match, it'll prompt you to log in. So log in with your CnCNet account. So I'll just log in right here. Oops, wrong one. And it'll bring you to this little page over here. So this page is where you can select which game you want to play. So there's the YURI'S Revenge ladder, there's the Red 2 ladder, there's the Blitz ladder as well. We ignore this. So I want to go to the Red 2 ladder. You can see the battle nickname is Forehead, the one that I just activated. And from here you can select which faction or which side you want to go for different maps. So if I click Arabian Oasis, it'll show a little preview here, and from there you can select whether you want to go America, you want to go Korea, France, or you can even reject that certain map. So obviously you do have a certain number of rejects for the month. So for RA2, I believe it's quite a number. So I do have quite a number of maps rejected here. So for example, if I want to play America and Jungle Vietnam, I can, and then I want to reject Arabian Oasis. That means that whenever I go into quick match, I will not be matched on that specific map. So if you want to play offline, there is a way as well. So offline being the campaign, the skirmish, the campaign and the skirmish. There are options here for the campaign and the skirmish, but I don't recommend it. A better way to do campaign and skirmish would be from launching it in the base game from your folder. So let's get onto that section of the video. Okay, so if you want to play the skirmish or the campaign, it is quite simple and an easy fix for most players. So you want to go to options and you want to set your renderer. If you're wanting to play a multiplayer, you have already done that. So whether you pick CNC draw, whether you pick TSD draw, whatever works for you. Once you've selected it, click save, and you can leave your client behind or even exit it. What you want to do is you want to go to your game file. So for me, it is in local disk C, program files, EA games, Command & Conquer Red 2, and you want to find the file called re2.exe. So if let's say you want to play the re2 campaign, you click re2.exe. If you want to play the YURI'S Revenge campaign, you want to click re2md.exe, which is below here. So these two files are the files you want to look for when you want to play the campaign. So if I want to play re2, I can just double click this and it will launch the EA app. Give it a while and then it will pop up with a notification saying that this app requires some additional permissions. And when it comes up just like this, you want to click OK. And then it'll launch this little screen right here. So once you've launched the screen here, you can click, if you click R2, click R2. If you click R2MD, then you click YURI'S Revenge. So I've clicked R2.exe, so I'll just click this. And then this will launch the game itself. So you can see on the top left of the screen there, it is showing RE2. Don't worry if it's kind of small on my screen, it will be full screen on your screen. And it'll run through the entire opening sequence with the cutscenes and everything. So I'm just gonna skip right to the end of the cutscene. Okay, so once you have gotten past the cutscene, it'll bring you to this little screen right here. So you want to go to options and you want to set the in-game resolution or the set game resolution to your monitor's resolution. So in this case, my monitor is 2560 by 1440. I'll click this. It'll ask you to restore it. Just click OK. Give it a while and it will restart, and it should be showing on my screen here. There you go. Now it's in the full resolution of my screen, and once you're here, you're good to go. So I can go to single player, I can start a new campaign, and let's run the Soviet campaign here and see how it goes. Perfect with the cutscene and everything, or you can just skip it by pressing escape. And I'm already into the first mission. So whenever you're playing the campaign, if you're used to playing with CnCNet, you do want to go to game controls and set the game speed to faster. That's where the 60 FPS is, and then you'll be pretty used to it by then. Look at the game speed. It is crispy smooth with no lag at all. Once I get control here. There you go, better control online. I can immediately start building. I can garrison buildings. And everything is fine and dandy and works perfectly smooth. So once you're here, you're good to go and you can start having your fun in the R2 campaign. And then of course, if you want to start the skirmish, all you need to do is go to single player, go to skirmish, and then you'll bring you back to the old school page here. You can customize the battle to see whatever map you want. So if let's say I want to go to, where's Heck Ridges over? There it is. If I want to go to Heck, pick an easy enemy, I can start a game. Now I am in skirmish for RE2. So that was a tutorial on how to do RE2. So if you, let's say you want to do YURI'S Revenge, it is exactly the same. You want to go to re2md.exe, double click it. It'll show up on the, it'll open up the EA app, and all you need to do is wait for the pop-up to give you access to additional permissions. There you go, click OK, and then you can just click YURI'S Revenge and just repeat the same thing over again. So it'll launch the app and it'll actually launch you into the YURI'S Revenge cutscene right at the start. So once again, I'm gonna skip to the end of the cutscene here in a bit. Alright, we're reaching the end of the cutscene here. And once again, don't worry if on the video it's a small little square on the top left. On your screens, it will be full screen. So again, once you're here in the YURI'S Revenge page, I will zoom in right now. So once you're on the YURI'S Revenge main menu here, go to options. You want to set your screen to the maximum resolution of your monitor. That is to, for me, it's 2K. Go back to the main menu. And from there, you're good to go. To go to a new campaign. I can just click to start the allied campaign, and here we go. So once I click escape, it restarts, and there we go. Now it's showing on my OBS. So perfectly crispy smooth. Again, I'm gonna go to game controls and set it to faster, and now it'll quicken up as per normal speed on the CnCNet multiplayer. So it'll bring you through all the custom cinematics here, and once I get some battle control and show you how crispy smooth it is, no matter RE2 or YURI'S Revenge. There you go. So I can move my mirages here wherever I want to go, and it is absolutely crispy smooth with no lag at all, no delay, and it works perfectly fine. And there we go. So obviously, if you have a 1080p monitor, you should set it to 1080p. That's 1920 by 1080p. If you have a 4K, which is not recommended by the way, 4K is a little bit too big. You can set it to 4K, but 1920 by 1080 is the recommended resolution for both YURI'S Revenge and RA2. So that's it. That is the full in-depth tutorial on how to play RA2 YURI'S Revenge online, on quick match or ranked match, how to play campaign, and as well on how to play the skirmish. So everything is pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you're unfamiliar with who we are, Fortune Skills, we are a group of players who actually stream and play RA2 or YURI'S Revenge quite often. You can check the link below for our Twitch descriptions, or Twitch links, sorry, when we actually play the games live. And more often than not, we're shoutcasting pro level games as well, and countless tournaments that's been running every single month. So feel free to drop us a follow, make sure to subscribe for the channel for more, and yeah, we'll see you later.